This is Sky Princess. It's okay. She is actually my anxiety and OCD support dog, but she is not a service animal. So if you see us around, you can come up and say hello, pet her. Sometimes it's easier to make friends with a dog than a human. I understand. So please say hello. I also wanted to let you know that Sky Princess and I are presenting on translations tomorrow afternoon, if that's a topic of interest. And Sky Princess is an esteemed member of the Reverse Harem panel in a couple hours. It is not a joke because my Reverse Harem pen name is actually SK Prince, which is Sky Princess minus a few letters. So she truly is a Reverse Harem author. Very dirty puppy. We're going to see if she'll stay on the table, but she might try to jump to me, so just go with it. All right, we're going to talk about Facebook ad strategy. And I want to start by asking you to raise your hand if you are freaking out about Facebook ads. Okay, so about half of us are honest. It's okay. I do this professionally, and I'm freaking out. But I'm not scared. I'm just freaking out because it's very stressful because everyone else is freaking out. Some of the reasons I see authors freaking out, either clients I work with, friends, or around author groups. Oh my God, is Facebook going to reject my cover because this guy has a nipple? Should I take his nipple off? I work with a lot of romance authors. I'm sorry, it might get a little steamy at parts. Will they shut down my account with no recourse? Will they change this thing that's working for me? Will they remove this? What about this new thing I've heard about? What do I do? Everybody says Facebook ads don't work anymore. Do I give up? That's what this talk is about. So hopefully you guys don't give up, but we'll see how I do. So here are some important questions to ask yourself. Why are you running Facebook ads? What's the ultimate goal? What are your roadblocks? We're going to have a really big travel analogy the whole way through. So this is the intro to said analogy. Do you have limited time? Do you have limited budget? Do you have limited skills? Or maybe your backlist isn't very big. What's holding you back? And how will you know when your ads are successful? I guess I can't call on anybody because it's a pretty big room. I just want to see what some of the answers might be because this is the question I get the most. First, do Facebook ads still work? And then, how do I know? So many authors know that they need to run Facebook ads, but they don't know how to tell. They have no goals, they have no benchmarks, and they're approaching it as a tactic. And tactic is going to kind of be a dirty word in this talk because we're talking about the other stuff. But what a lot of authors do is they jump from tactic to tactic and they wonder why Facebook ads aren't working for them. The answer is because you need a strategy, and I'm going to give you a slight spoiler, which will hopefully make everyone really excited. First, let me ask, can everybody hear me okay, or do I keep going back a little too far? Okay. I'm trying to moderate my voice because usually I'm very loud, and I don't want anyone to have a headache. If you have a headache, I want it to be from my words, not my voice. So the spoiler is, at the end of this talk, I have a choose-your-own-adventure strategy maker for Facebook ads. So get ready with your note-taking app or a pen and paper, whatever you have. We have cool journals. Be ready, it's going to be exciting, but I'm going to make you listen to a bunch of business stuff first, which hopefully will be really cool and awesome, because I think it's cool and awesome. First, we have some analogies I've heard about Facebook ads. A lot of people think of it as a pay-to-play game where you don't know the rules. I also asked ChatGPT for some ideas, and they said it's flying a plane while building it, which I really liked. ChatGPT also said it's juggling chainsaws while riding a unicycle, and then I added on fire because I thought that made it even better. But here's our big analogy. You're embarking on a journey without a roadmap, and maybe not even the right vehicle if you're approaching Facebook ads tactically without a strategy. I'm going to explain this a little bit better on the next slide. So we are taking a Facebook ads journey. Tactics, that's your mode of transportation. It could be A really sexy BMW, it could be an old truck, it could be a bicycle, it could be that unicycle in Fire and Hell, a plane, a train, many different approaches. Goals, that's where you're going, that's your destination. And the strategy is your map. So if you are driving somewhere and you have no destination in mind, that's pretty dangerous. It can be fun, but also you could run into stuff and that's bad. If you know where you're going, say I live in Alaska and I want to go to Hawaii and I just take off, but I don't have a strategy, I don't have a map, I'm going to drive into the flippin' ocean. So that's not great. Maps, strategy, it doesn't change often. Ancient maps are really cool, and I have some hanging in my house, but they're still kind of close to today's maps, versus that other stuff can change all the time. You might want to go vacation somewhere else, you might buy a new car, you might travel by a different method, but the map is going to be steady and stable, and that is strategy. So it seems pretty easy, but it's really hard to master. I'm worried, part of the reason I'm nervous is I might call something the wrong thing in this talk, even though I'm an expert on this. I've been in this business for 12 years. I own Novel Publicity, worked with lots of authors. Thank you for whoever did that. Thank you. I have a business-y degree. I have a master's in applied sociology and survey methodology, so I really like numbers and business. And I teach these concepts to other authors. I give talks, I do one-on-one trainings. So I'm an expert, whatever that means, and I still make mistakes. And I want to give you a really good example of a really big mistake I made just last month. And hopefully you'll still trust me, because I'm trying to show my vulnerable moment. Like a lot of other authors, I've recently started experimenting with direct sales and Shopify. And I was like, okay, this is the thing, everybody's doing it. I need to be knowledgeable because I'm in the business. I have a huge catalog because I have 4 pen names, and as you can see under genre, I wrote all. That's pretty true. So I'm like, okay, direct sales, we're gonna do this. I'm great at Facebook ads, no problem. There was a problem because I thought I could copy paste my strategy for running Facebook ads to Amazon and have it work for direct sales. And that did not work at all, and I wasted a lot of money, and it was only when I realized that I had to completely rewrite my strategy that I've started to see some success at direct sales. So I mentioned tactics is a dirty word. I want to explore that a little bit and tell you some of the things that are tactical decisions in Facebook ads. They're really easy to spot because this is what everyone always talks about. Tactics are a lot sexier, they're more immediate, they change frequently. One thing right now is ads are becoming increasingly impacted by the use of AI. That's not what this talk is about, but it's something to be very aware of. It's impacting copy. Facebook will now try to rewrite your copy with its AI. Some accounts have it, some don't. Some people use AI images. Facebook is doing ultra advantage, super plus everything. They put stars next to it and all these superlatives to make it really exciting. That's just Facebook using their AI and changing the system. Other things I've seen a lot of authors talking about are non-restrictive targeting versus interest targeting. I would love someone to ask me a question about that when we get to the end. Because a big change is coming to Facebook ads that a lot of authors don't understand, and I would love to share it with you, but it's a tactic, so very clearly the title of my talk, which I was not allowed to change, says not tactics, so Q&A. But it's whether you're using your cover art or stock image or a design, and whether you're doing direct sales ads or traffic ads, whether you're using an excerpt or your blurb, or whether you're pointing to your first in series or your series page or your box set, these are all tactics, and it's all anyone's thinking about most of the time. Example goals. A lot of authors have goals. But some of them actually do Facebook ads without clear goals as well. These are measurable. Do you want to maximize your return on investment, or do you want more money, more pure profit? Most authors ask to maximize ROI, but then when you ask them this question specifically, they say, oh, wait a second, I want what puts more money in my pocket. Do you want to acquire new readers to your catalog, or do you want to retarget existing readers to let them know about a new release? Do you want to have a huge book launch, or do you just want to make steady money on your backlist? Are you aiming for a specific rank, or do you want to land on a bestseller list, which is a goal that a lot of people don't have anymore? So those are goals. Example strategy is, I'm not going to tell you yet. It's a whole freaking map, remember? I'm going to give you a little bit more context, and then we have that choose your own adventure coming. Here's the part I'm worried everyone's going to hate, but it's so important. Business talk. Yes, we're all business owners, whether we want to be or not. A lot of people have probably heard of SMART goals. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. If that's a new concept for you, I really recommend just Googling it and reading about it. I have highlighted attainable and time-bound because I think these are the two most important to consider. Many authors will go into Facebook ads and want to spend $10 to make $100, and while possible, it's rare. So setting your standards, usually I recommend starting with, okay, let's break even. Okay, let's make 2 times ROI. Okay, let's make 3 times and see how high we can push it. But if you aim to go straight for 10x ROI, you're going to be disappointed, you're not going to hit your goal, and you might give up. Time-bound is highlighted because this is where everybody loses so much money. You have to be careful of people who say, you need to just give it more time. You need to just increase your budget. You need to just wait. You need to just do X, Y, Z, and then you'll be successful. You really want to go in and give yourself a specific amount of time. Otherwise, it could be like my direct sales journey where I wasted a lot of money first, and then I finally got it to work. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, some to consider when running Facebook ads are CPC, which is the cost per click. This is the one most authors have a hard-on for. They want the best CPC, and they go in groups and they brag about their CPC, and then they show their ad, and it is a stock image with 1 line of text, and you have no idea it's a book ad. CPC is not the most important metric. The most important metric is what I have highlighted, which is return on ad spend, or just your general income. I watch what I'm spending versus what I'm making, and I do a very simple ROI calculation and track that. I will happily take CPC that is 3 times higher if it's putting more money in my pocket. The other things are CTR, which is your click-through rate, ACoS, which is an Amazon ads term, but that's average cost of sale, and your rank, which is really important to some people, especially if you have a chance to get in the top 100 of Amazon, and I'll talk about that a little more. The last businessy thing is a SWOT analysis. That stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and it's something that I think is really good for every author to do once a year. I'm sorry, I know it sucks and it's horrible. I want you to do this business thing, but it really helps focus on what's in your control and what is not. Author groups are tough. I tend to have a lot of anxiety. That's why I have this chihuahua with me. And when I go in author groups, everybody is Chicken Little all the time. The sky is falling. Facebook ads don't work anymore. AI is going to replace humans. Everything is going to hell and the world is ending because everyone wants to talk about threats. That's not something you can control, but you can control the other stuff. And we're going to look at it. Ta-da, things we can control. I left the little attribution to Template Lab that let me download this. They have a ton of really cool, pretty templates. You can download it for free. Here's an example SWOT analysis. If you're running Facebook ads, if you have really good reviews on your books, you have a high rating, or you have readers who just freaking love your books and use a lot of exclamation points and emojis in their reviews, that is a strength for Facebook ads. If your readers are engaged and they see one of your ads and say, oh my God, I love this book, oh, I just read this, I would give my life for Octocat. That's one of my characters from my Cozy Mysteries, and that has been said before. And Butter, universal fantasy, Theodore Taylor's concept. That's another thing, if you're unfamiliar with it, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Read the book, take the class, look in groups, just learn about this butter thing, because if you have it in your books, it is a huge strength and probably something you want to focus on in marketing. Weaknesses might be you have a low series sell-through, or readers suddenly drop off after book 3. Maybe your branding is out of date. Covers change a lot, trends change. If it's out of date, that might be a weakness. Weaknesses are things you can improve, you can work on. We can figure out why readers are dropping off. We can update our branding. That's something we can control. With opportunities, update your cover, put out a box set, reach new markets with audio or translations. Threats are things we can't control. Release cliff, algorithm shifts, rank freeze. That's not in our control. We can educate ourselves, but if we're focused there, we're gonna fail, or we're gonna be very lucky to succeed. So I recommend focusing on the other 3 things. Even though it's really easy to focus on the big scary monster coming, you should focus on how to get away from the monster instead of just staring it down and waiting to be devoured. And I have a little note that I wanted to share. It's one of my favorite sayings as a person with anxiety and OCD. Anxiety can be fuel. It's not just a bad thing. A lot of what I accomplish, I do because I'm anxious. That's gas. It can get me somewhere. But I don't want to leave the motor running. So you don't want to just be worried, and have no destination and nowhere to go. Use the fear you feel about these threats to explore your opportunities and improve your weaknesses. This was a mistake I made, but we're still freaking out about Facebook ads, so it's not a mistake, it's just a reminder. All right, so I like to think of the cost of anything, including Facebook ads, in 3 dimensions. A lot of people focus on how much time is this going to take away from my writing, or how much money is this going to cost me. But stress is something you should be considering as well. If running Facebook ads makes you want to pull your hair out, or actually do it, and really decreases your quality of life, that's something you should consider and account for in your strategy. Also think of data versus intuition. A lot of authors, we're artists, we're creatives, we're in touch with our feelings, and we just have a gut feeling this thing is going to be it. To the detriment of sometimes ignoring the data. A lot of authors like CPC over income because it makes them feel good to have good CPC, especially when Facebook's like, high-performing ad. That's such a nice pat on the back, but if you go with that versus the things that actually put money in your pocket, you're going to be disappointed. Intuition is very hard when it comes to Facebook ads, and very few people have it, which is why it's so important to have the data in your back pocket. People are focusing on the wrong thing instead of focusing on, oh my God, what's changing with targeting in January, which again, please ask me about. You should be focusing on what you can control, which is your product. That's what we're good at. That's why we're even attempting Facebook ads, is because we're awesome at writing books and we want to sell them. Make your books even more awesome. And I wanted to mention the herd mentality and the golden ticket. I love 20Books, but I see these posts a lot. I am so successful. Here's a screenshot. Here's a really long thing of what I did. And then everybody's like, oh my God, if I do that too, then I'll be posting this screenshot next year. Please do not do that. Please have a strategy. We've already talked about the justs, how they really get you, because it seems like a small ask to just wait a little longer, but they just keep compounding, and you just keep losing money and losing time and adding stress, and it's all wrong. Okay, it's time. I really hope this lives up to the hype. We're gonna build our own strategies. You guys ready? All right. So take a screenshot of this, and then just choose one from each category. So I'm going to read through it, and then I do have examples with my pen name. My strategy is to use Facebook ads to maximize ROI, sales, or profit for my backlist new release. A secondary benchmark for my success, and these are good because they help you not feel like a failure. If you're not seeing movement on your primary goal, seeing movement on your secondary goal can give you a lot of data that can help you get the movement on the primary. Do you want more reviews, more subscribers, and increased rank? This adventure is stressing my dog out, so I'm going to pick her up. It's okay, we've already done this adventure, we know. Ideally, I want to ensure that I am earning X dollars back for every dollar spent on ads. I need my ads to be successful because, and this is very important, it will hurt my feelings if they're not. This is part of me. I need the money to feed my family. Very different motivations. I need to succeed in order to continue devoting my time to writing. I will check my ads daily, weekly, or some other time period you determine, and give my ads time, impressions, or clicks to determine whether they're working. A lot of people say, oh, give it 500 impressions, or get 10 clicks, or wait 2 weeks before you determine if it's working. Just pick the one you like best and stick to it. I am open/closed to adapting my product, aka my books, to aid ad performance. And I have a hard cap of X dollars to spend on ads each day or month. If I am not successful with Facebook ads within the designated time period, I will stop, change, learn, or hire. Do you guys need a little time, or should I go into my examples for my strategies now? What? No. Do you guys need a little more time, or do you want to see my 2 examples? Okay. Example number 1, Molly Fitz. This is my cozy pen name. It is my most established fan base. As long as I write a book with jokes about cats in it, it will sell. That does not work with Chihuahuas, which gives me great sadness, but it's just a fact. So as Molly Fitz, I maximize the profit for my backlist. When I have a new release, I say, yay, new release, my backlist is bigger. I don't do anything special. A secondary benchmark for my success is I watch subscribers. I have a Ream membership, so I watch that, as well as my newsletter, which I scrub all the time, so I'm also looking at engagement. And I like to earn $3 for every dollar I spend. So I will scale as long as I'm making that. If I'm making more than $3 back, I will spend more money. And if I don't succeed, it hurts my feelings, so that sucks. I check my ads every day, and I give my new ads time. I said not to trust your intuition, but I do that, so this is a do as I say, not as I do situation, unless you really, really trust your intuition and it's done well for you. Usually, I only wait a day. For most people, I would wait at least 5 days. I'm open to adapting my product. I do it all the time. I rebrand constantly, especially for other markets like the UK or France. I spend up to $150 a day on Molly. I actually have in the name of my ad account, for each of my pen names have their own ad account, and I have how much I want to spend and how much return I want. So Molly Fitz 150 3X is the name of that account. And that's daily. And if something's not working, I change it. I write new blurbs, I put in a reader review, I make a new graphic, sometimes I rebrand. It's really hard to do when you have an 18-book series that's been translated to 5 marketplaces. Do not recommend. That's Molly. I have a new pen name, Luna Ryder. She writes cozy fantasy, fantasy romance, and sci-fi rom-com. And that's my big passion right now because I get bored easily. That's why I write all the genres. So for my new pen name, which I will be launching a couple weeks after Vegas, I want to maximize sales for my new release. That is the exact opposite of my strategy for Molly. I also, rank is important. If I can get high and stick, I'm going to do that. I want to earn $1 back for every dollar I spent. I just need to break even on this new pen because I have a strategy to gain visibility, to reach new readers. It's completely different than what I'm doing on my established name. And I need to succeed so that I can keep writing this genre I like. If it doesn't work, I'll find a different genre, or I'll go with my tail between my legs back to Fitz and spend more time there. I'll check my ads daily, and I'll give them time. Open to adapting. I already have 2 alternate covers for my first launch. And I'm willing to spend up to $500 a day as long as I'm breaking even on this new pen name. That's probably not going to happen, but everybody give good thoughts that it will, because there's a lot of people in this room, so just like, yay, Luna Ryder. And if the ads aren't working, I'm going to stop. I am fully ready to give up on this thing I'm really excited about. If I'm running ads and I'm trying a lot of things and I'm doing everything I can and it's just not connecting, I will stop. So that's completely different than my approach to Molly Fitz. And I have a surprise. I didn't make a mistake on purpose. No, I did make a mistake on purpose. I snuck goals and tactics into our strategy adventure just to see if you guys are paying attention and if you understand the concepts. But the thing is being able to say this is a strategy, this is a tactic, this is a goal is actually not that important. And I know it's terrible to tell a room full of writers that words aren't important. But as long as you're incorporating all the ideas, I don't care what you call them. So if you want to test your skill, however, you can go back to the Choose Your Own Adventure and tell me where I snuck the wrong things into the strategy. I just felt like they fit nice. And you're welcome in the Q&A to be like, I am very smart and found them, and to tell us. So the final word is that every author, every book, everything is different. And I say this so much till I'm blue in the face. Every author I talk to about ads says, oh, how long will it take for this? And what ROI will I achieve? And I'm like, I have no idea until I see the data. Like, everything is different. Even with Molly Fitz, my established name, a new release could perform completely differently than the old releases have because there's so many conditions. Find what works for you. Don't chase what works for somebody else. And just pretend I'm underlining that, because the herd mentality thing, right? So if there's time, which we're going to probably have about 13 minutes for questions, so these are things you can ask me about. Ask me anything. If you ask me a question I don't know the answer to, it will make me so happy. I love smart people asking hard questions. We can talk about how to roll a new tactic into your existing strategy, personal examples from my pen names, more on tactics that are working for me right now. And if you don't have time to ask your question, find me around the conference. I'm easy to find because I am attached to a Chihuahua. Ask me about these things. I'm very happy to talk about them. So now is the time for questions, and I will say that I have the same information on cards up here. I have a group on Facebook where I do free videos, where I teach about Facebook ads. You never have to pay or buy anything. I just got sick of courses, so I started offering videos for free. Come join me there. And I want to end before the questions by saying, raise your hand if you're freaking out about Facebook ads. Okay, it's a little bit less, so I feel like people are lying to help my feelings, which I appreciate, but right in my notes, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we're all still freaked out. But hopefully if you sit with these concepts and do a SWOT analysis, highly recommend, you'll start to feel more in control, because if you have a strategy, solid strategy, it's not going to change very often, and the new tactics and the threats and everything everyone's saying you should do should be a whole lot less scary. So give it time, and next year when you see me in Vegas, come up to me and do this. Put your hand down. I'm ready for questions.
What's changing with targeting in January?
And your name is?
Stacy.
Stacy, well done. Gold star. In January, Facebook is requiring Advantage Plus targeting. It is no longer optional. You cannot revert to old targeting. A lot of authors think this means interest targeting is going away. It does not. What it does mean is that Facebook will use its algorithm, AI, Advantage Plus, optimized super everything, to decide who's going to click on your ads or who's going to purchase depending on your objective. Sorry, I have a runny nose. And Facebook can change who they're serving your ads to. So if you say, I want to target, this is an audience I use a lot. I want to target women who are over 35 in the US who like cozy mysteries. Facebook can say, yeah, cool, that's cute. We're gonna also serve this to men who are 20 because you get better results according to them. There's nothing you can do about that. Interest targeting is not going away, but their ability to change and serve outside of what you're targeting, it's gonna be a thing you can't escape. They are doing it based on data and their algorithms. I recommend, if you're running ads, start working with it now so that there's less of a blind panic in January and your ads have time to learn and adjust. As an ad runner who specializes in reverse harem and dark romance, I am a little nervous because I love men, but sometimes they leave really creepy comments on romance ads. And that's not my favorite thing that we can't exclude them, but hey, it is what it is. You focus on what you can control.
Hi, my name is Carla. Thank you so much for doing this session for us today. My question is, earlier you said you rebrand constantly. Can you give us an example of what that looks like?
Yes. With my women's fiction pen name, Melissa Storm, I'm hybrid with that name, and at a certain point, I decided I didn't want to write those books again, ever. So all I have is a big backlist and nothing new. So I will change titles, I'll change series names, I'll rewrite my blurbs, I'll get new covers. I probably do that for one series a year based on tests I have in ads and what I see coming on the bestseller list. For example, my rom-coms now have illustrated covers. That's what works right now. That's not what worked when I wrote these books 6 years ago. So they're actually on their third cover iteration.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
If your strategy is to acquire new readers who are unfamiliar with your work, what tactics would you utilize to do that?
It's a question I can answer, but takes some untangling. So I would do the broadest possible targeting. Here's where the new Advantage targeting will help you. And I would probably use a dynamic creative, if it's something new, where you have a few different images that you're willing to adjust your cover to. I always find my ads perform best when I use the cover art as the image, because they click it, then they see the same thing on Amazon, then they buy it. And I would test a couple different blurbs, and I would pay attention to income, CPC, who's commenting on your ads, and just start as broad as possible and start bringing it narrower as you learn.
Thank you.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Christopher. I'm part of the nervous group. I see $150 a day on a book and almost no platform, almost no recognition, and very few sales right now. I just see hanging on to that for 5 days and seeing maybe a dozen sales and going, oh crap. How do I get over that, or how do I get some comfort that this is actually going to get me an ROI of at least one-on-one?
You should listen to your fear, because time in 3D, your feelings are really important when it comes to this. If you're uncomfortable, it's going to be so hard to succeed. I don't recommend anyone starts at $150. I think start at $5 or $10 and see, am I doing consistently better? When I'm looking at my income, I'm not just looking at, today I spent this and made this. I'm looking at the shape of the data. So is it steadily increasing? Or another really great thing that a lot of authors think is bad but is awesome is it flatlined? Like flatlined but selling. So are you spending $5 on ads and making $20 every single day without change? That's good too. It's awesome to see it go up, but also stability is important because it's a sign it's working. I would just start really low and take your time, and don't say, I have to spend 150 so it works faster. Listen to, I said, ignore your gut, everybody, but listen to your gut. If you're really uncomfortable or just don't have the finances to spend 150 a day, don't start there. Even with myself and with clients whose ads I've been running a really long time, if they have a launch, they'll be like, okay, cool, we're gonna spend $300. And I'm like, not right away, we're not. We're gonna slowly go up. I think it's always good to build, and as you're seeing results, then you increase. But please bide your time, especially as you're learning.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Alicia. We've always run our Facebook ads where we go directly to the product page and measure our performance through Amazon attribution. I don't know if you do it that way, or do you go directly to a web page and pixelate it and create events and then measure performance that way? And if you've done it both ways, do you find one performs better than the other?
Yes, I have done it both ways, and also I've done direct sales, which is a sales conversion objection pixel who's actually buying your product on Shopify. I like going straight to the Amazon product page, series page, or box set page, and then I just look at my income. I use Amazon attribution links. They're not my favorite friend because I'm impatient and their data is kind of slow. I do use attribution links on my translations where I have less data, so I want that data. And also my translations are in Kindle Unlimited, so I find that data more helpful. For my wide books, I'm really just looking at, I spent X, series made Y. Let's math it out.
Okay, sorry, so a follow-up question. So when you run Facebook ads, then you're solely running Facebook. You're not using other platforms as well, like Amazon ads at the same time as AMG, because then you can't parcel what's working and what's not.
Right, so I also do run Amazon ads. I have a great team that works for me. I hate Amazon ads personally because I'm impatient and they're not pretty to look at, and I just get frustrated and leave. That's the time in 3D, I get stressed. So I do have a team running Amazon ads for me. I spend much less. I also sometimes do promos like BookBub or eReader News Today, and I do actually have a spreadsheet that I do monthly, and I have everything together. So I have, this is what the series made in this marketplace. Here is what we spent on Facebook. Here's what we spent on Amazon. Here's what we spent on the series. Here is the ROI, and here's the % change over last month, because I also look at the direction the data is trending.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hi, Melissa, Annette here. My question was building actually on the question that was just asked.
Okay.
What specific metric do you really like for segregating if you are doing multiple marketing activities to know that your goals of this is how much I want to spend per day, this is the ROI I'm looking for, is really specifically happening because of that Facebook advertising, that you're making those sales with the separate metrics on Amazon?
Right, it actually helps me to look at ACOS on Amazon ads to figure out their impact and then subtract it. But I only do that once a month because that's a lot of math to do every day.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
Hi, I've got the questions from the folks watching online, and I'm going to ask a bunch of them, so we may run out of time. I apologize.
I'll give one-word answers for them.
Okay, good.
Good.
Here's the first one. Why do you have different ad accounts for different pen names? I have 2 very different pen names, and I'm wondering if it's hurting me to use the same account to run ads for both names.
It does not hurt you when it comes to the ads themselves. This is purely a bookkeeping thing. Since I have a business and multiple pen names, it's just a kindness for my bookkeeper, who's my best friend. So it's just a decision I made for how I organize the data. It will not hurt you to have them in the same account.
Okay, next question. Have you found Facebook ads perform well with other stores like Kobo?
Sometimes you have to be really comfortable, and there are caveats, like if you're targeting Canada, yes, running to Kobo is a good call. You probably can't scale it much higher than $5 and have success. And when I am targeting a different store, it's usually a very short-term burst, so it works better for release versus backlist.
Okay, some of these are going to be long, so let me skip those.
And the people online can join the group that I have linked and ask your question there.
Yeah.
Or friend me and message me, and I might not respond quickly because I'm kind of doing this thing in Vegas right now, but I'll eventually respond. I have 1.5 minutes left, so.
I'm Megan. Hello.
Hi.
My question is kind of back to the metrics of Facebook Ads Manager and their reporting.
Mhm.
Have you found it to be, do you trust it at all? Do you only do that the once a month? Because I find day to day it doesn't match up.
I trust it more than I trust Amazon's reporting.
Okay. It has gotten better, I've noticed, but it still seems to not be, it'll say we got 3 sales or whatever it is, and then it doesn't correlate.
It can, especially with sales objective ads, it can be a little off schedule. So that's again why I also look at general trends in the shape of the data. So I do look at my ads every day, and then I also run all the numbers every week and look at the % change over last week, and then I also run the monthly numbers. So yeah, definitely looking at it at aggregate can remove kind of the small bumps. For clients, I will only look at their numbers with them twice a week on Monday and Thursday.
Okay.
Because if you're looking at it every day, it could be a reporting lag, it could be anything.
Right,
You
yeah.
want to look at it over time, and I like the shape of the data more than anything else in telling what ads are going to do.
Okay, thank you.
He's doing this to me, so you're all dead to me. But come find me, please ask me questions. Hopefully come and see Sky Princess and I on the Reverse Harem panel, which I think is 2:15, and we're talking translations later. Thank you.